Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at SOTA from Be First, and I believe it's a highlight remix, no Flexin, something along those lines. This came out about a day ago. I've had many people on YouTube and on Patreon ask me to look at this, so I said sure. So we're here taking a watch. I've really enjoyed watching Be First in the group activities as well as these little solo moments, so I think this is going to be fun. Let's go.
B ファーストソータです。よろしくお願いします。No flexing 安いものもくけどいらなきゃダンスやることやって振り返ったら後ろに勝手にできてる歴史わがままで捕まれはもういい稼いだ金も次の才能に投資マンネキンのドルショーフレンドしか会社の T シャツが超レッ袖通したら気はつけんな追いつかった海賊を伏せんな
He's freestyling, isn't he?
どこでぼやいてもうっせぇわひっくり返る手のひらだなやっぱマジでやばいっすよねって今さらなんとかして日高さん安心しなバカも数も味方だ No chilling, no flexing, not subbing
Fun.
Bad job, down, down, bad job, down, down
Yeah.
No flexing, not subbing demo bad thing, bad job, down, down, bad job, down, down, down
Hey. Cool.
One move で証明説明不要 Be first all day 必要なものはここからで一つほらとくと見と
He likes initiating from his right leg when he initiates a wave. He said, that can be exhausting. That was really fun. Okay, here we go. From the top. I'm going to take a little guess here that this was freestyle because of how he phrased and sequenced his choices is kind of how, you can make that type of educated guess. From the top, a lot of rigidness going in where we're locking a lot of our body to create this effect, this reverb or rebounded effect. So that's really cool. He's starting to channel from going more of a human side to more animated. Really like that. I like that you can see just how close we are and high quality it is, where you could see his shoulder get initiated, which is really cool. Right there, he doubles it. So he's in the intro, living it up, listening, figuring out what he wants to do. The breath on it is nice, and he adds a little triple on that. Normally, I don't do breakdowns of freestyling because it's not the same in terms of how you would view it like choreography, where choreography was made intentionally and ingrained to certain parts of the music in a particular sequence. And there was thought between how you're connecting things. For freestyling, you would think about legibility, clarity of your exploration, and competency of that in how you want to showcase it. Now, I also, because this is a fun, this is considered more of a fun video. This isn't a competition, and it's not a battle either. I'm not one to, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that was off. Not at all. If anything, we get to look through, see what are some really cool elements that we get to celebrate about where he is as a mover. So he sets it up. I like that we have the car, door open situation. This whole thing, he's listening. I wonder how many cameras were on him, because I wonder if this was just done in one take, right? But anyway, so I like this little teeter-tatter moment there. Also, there's a whole trend called 6-7 at least in my neck of the woods. I don't know where it is where you are, but that's a whole little thing. Some of my kids, if they watch this, are going to be like, oh, Miss Jess said it. It's a whole thing. So he's doing it on the basses, but technically this motion is happening on 6 and 7. So that's why I asked that. So you have the 4, he tosses it, he sends the arm up. Notice he travels his energy through his legs, and it's more legato, but it still has a really tight and clear upper body, right? I like that it's polyrhythmic, where he has a huge flow being executed in the lower body, but more isolated in the upper body. That's a polyrhythm. Then he ends up sending it up into a little glitch that's happening in the torso. Then he resets it, sends the energy of our waving. I wouldn't go so far as to go like full on waving technique, but he is doing energy transfer through the form of a wave or a legato motion through to the other side. The knock on the head is really cool. I like that he sends his arms. Notice the range is a little different than the beginning, and his hands are a little different too. The kick is nice, where he hits it, and as he sends it back, it triggers a roll or a body wave through the torso there. I like that we hit on our moment through the phrase with the head. That little shoop shoop, and then he phrase bleeds. Phrase bleeds are really fun, because what I mean by that is when we think about songs in the dance side, we do count to 8 a lot of times. Now in ballroom or in other spaces where you're dealing with tracks that are really hard to count to 8 with, or they're not in a 4/4 time signature, those are a little different to navigate. But normally when we count to 8, it would be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. When you start over from the 8 to the 1, normally it's a tone shift, or you can tell that it resets in the music, your phrase. And so when I talk about a phrase bleed, it's you're doing a motion, or there's a part of the music that's bleeding over into the next section, or your motion is bleeding over. So it shows a sense of complexity, because you're not just finishing on the 8 to do something new on the 1, which is what most people are trained to do when you go beginner to intermediate in your training. It's easier to read. I like that so he's going off of wordplay. Also, he's initiating again from the lower body. He likes initiating body rolls through the lower body specifically. And I like he hits it through. There's your kick again. So he's technically repeated. But remember, it's not a battle. It's not a competition. So that's not going to work against him ever, unless he's, saying, I'm the best dancer in the world. And then he, showcases this. There's always going to be somebody, like, he's always going to be better than others, and there's also going to be people better than him, depending on the scope, depending on the style, depending on so many factors, which is why I genuinely think, I don't even think that's the point. The point is we're just living it up. We're having a good time, which I like. He ends up doing that again. The knock is nice. I like the tap, tap, tap. And then he finishes up, just lets it finish until the phrase starts over there. So he waited, chilled out through the 7, 8, through the basses to initiate on 1. Yeah, tukena. I don't even know if I said that right, so sorry. But I like the hips on that. It looks really fun. Then he does a little smeeze out of it. So subtle into a Harlem. He switches it up. Notice that he inverted those legs. Torso responds. This who said wah, and he does a vibration to knock it to the side. And then he rotates that wrist to send it back to the other side. And where does he initiate? From the lower body. He sends it down, travels the energy up to the arms. He opens it out. There's your little hands. I don't know if he's praying or if he's just vibing. Percussion is nice. And then he initiates from the upper body and travels it all the way down. And then he sends it. Speed change is really nice. And then he lets his wrists have no energy through them, which is fun because oh gosh, Jess, use your brain. Because it's funny that I'm like doing this to describe it. A lot of times I'm puppeting. You would see, which I know he has a heavy popping background, and I know his affiliation with teams that have competed on the HHI circuit. So his technique does not really surprise me because he's had to figure out how to do it well in order to get a score that reflects it in the choreography circuit. So how he does more of the puppeting side is there's this huge reverb or this huge response that happens in the hand where the wrist kind of breaks off the energy from the arm to the hand, but the hand can't just look dead, but it still has to have some sense of control in it. Speed change is also really nice there. Then he does the head. I like the bounce, so I like the flow shift on that. It's cool. Then he lets the head initiate and he gets lower because they're talking about down. And then we send it back, no flexing. And then we have the arms, a little presentation, what you mean? And then have the arms up and then notice again. So if I'm going to call a SOTA a fingerprint of freestyle, it's going to be he has a preference of choosing to initiate energy in his lower body to his upper body. I'm not saying he only does that, but his go-to that you're going to see a lot of his choices, his legs are going to initiate and his body will respond or polyrhythmicize. That right there, yeah. Down, down, and it goes to hit and up, and I like the switch on the feet. And it goes down, down. Then we hit, notice that he crosses it over again. So that's another little moment idea that he likes to do is he crosses to help before he does an extension or a balance choice. So that's also a really fun thing. I don't mind looking at this kind of stuff because you're able to find somebody's isms pretty quickly in these types of spaces. So I find this to be cool. I'm learning more about SOTA here than in regular choreography videos, so I find that fun. The knock is nice. He sends it up. Come on, levels, and he knocks it is nice. He switches it with the feet, and then he lets the arm initiate to the side. He sticks his tongue out. What do you notice when people do that? They're living it up. They love it. That's what that is. So we're here for it. And he hits it through. I like the head bobble there. Subtleties. So he's doing a good job on, changing up his texture, changing up his dynamics of going loud to soft in his movement. That's cool. Yep, I like that wallet. And the knees are fun. Dropping it low, the knock knock. And then he lets the hand, looks like he's using that to control the foot to turn to the side. And he hits it, come on, reverb. And he walks off. Just kidding, not yet. So he hits it, boom, really nice. I'm assuming he's using that chest and the head, this little bobble I always find to be a fun element. He has his hand involved on it. Boom, he brings it out. Doom, da, 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 da. It comes all the scatting is what we're about to see here. Yep, notice where it started, everybody. Oh, it's so fun. I love it. Where he takes it, sends it off, travels it, gets it down, hit that, boom, that sound, knocks it up. We have a wave, click, click, sends it through. He resets it, travels the energy up through the body. Then you have your reverb again, the hit, the toss to the body around. Also, a lot of his choices we have to factor in. He has to stay contained in the box. So he may feel a little bit more restricted than normal if he has a wider stage in space. So that I understand. So I'm going in the framework of this is just a snapshot of SOTA from, who knows when this was originally filmed, but posting as of a day ago. I'm looking forward if you gave a different song or a different outfit, a different time of day, a different framework of staging. Could we get a different choice? Absolutely. Is that okay? Yes, that's the beauty of freestyle. It should be that way. And that's so fine. The knockdown, he hits it, tosses it up. Most likely wordplay choices there. He hits it, there's your... he's hitting do-do-do-do-do, being very clear on those sounds, like a vibration, but very loud compared to the previous vibration that he did before. Travels it forward. I like the ding, stylized hand, the walk. And I like that he continued his thought here. Because a lot of times people will take it and then just drop it. I really like that he used it, rotated around, so it got to be a moment. And he says, boom, and you have that, and then we pull it to go off. That was a lot. It's a full-on sprint. When you freestyle like that, full-on sprint the whole time for 2 minutes straight. Good job to SOTA. This was really enjoyable. If you guys like me watching B first, which you guys have always been very kind to me, the fan base, whenever we get to look at their stuff, let me know and keep me updated, because that's ultimately what gets me to watch these. It's not like you know, what is it? Mobbing against me with pitchforks saying, you better look at this or we're going to burn your house down. Not like that. But no one really does that. But my point, though, is the more that you guys just bring it to my attention that it's released, which is what ended up happening here. I had a few people let me know. I didn't know it was out until you guys told me. It helps me, if it works in my schedule, be able to go and look and appreciate it. So thank you guys for those who requested this. I'm looking forward to seeing what Be First does as a group. And I don't know, just the whole J-pop scene of groups that I've seen, like Mazel as well. It's just been really fun. So I'm Jess, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.